Hello and welcome, true art believers. This is Pierson. I am the #1 live art streamer in the world, and you are watching 300 Days of Drawing, and it is day 243. Wow, wowzers. And I am doing the Paintable Pumpkin Challenge, and we're going to see what happens. We've had a few complications for the past few days, more than I expected to happen. So here we are. We're starting all over again. We're not starting all over again, but we're going to go back and continue the same project and tweak and fix the things that I had errors or issues with earlier on. So hopefully you enjoy the process and hopefully you subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. And let's begin. All right, welcome everyone. Let's see here. We're going to do something a little bit different. I have a few ideas. Okay, I have a few ideas, and we're going to use the lasso tool, and we're going to remove sections of this. So I'm going to use the lasso tool to remove sections of my pumpkin because I think it's going to add something a little bit unique. So we're going to try it out. Already I'm having trouble. I never used the lasso tool before. So we're going to kind of just remove sections like this and press the good old delete button. And then we're going to do the same right here. Just add remove this section right here. Like this, maybe something like that. And press delete. And now we're going to do the same thing right here. Delete. So we're removing sections here right now because I need to erase these areas, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to remove large sections all at once with a kind of like an air of control that I don't have. So I'm going to go over any areas, and so forth. I didn't expect for me to be using the blur tool. Also, last live stream, for those that was watching, I had so many errors. I had they just had like an update for Photoshop, a major update, I guess. And apparently, whenever they do an update, or at least I'm assuming, I don't really know, everything goes bonkers. So I was having all kinds of like things happen, like my Photoshop was stalling out every 5 seconds. So like I had to restart my Photoshop 3 times, and there was so like, which would slow me down. It's throw my process off. And for those that know about anything, you know that if you're doing a drawing or you're doing some sort of activity and you have to stop and restart multiple times in a small time frame, you're not going to get much done, and so that's what kind of happened. I had to stop and restart multiple times, and because of that, I didn't get really anything done. Okay, so that's what we have here. I'm going to leave the background alone. I'm not even going to work in the background right now. I think what I'm going to do is, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to do something simple right now. I'm not going to touch the background. I want to focus my time and energy on the pumpkin itself. And then if I have some time, I'm going to work on the background. I don't know if I'm going to get to the background. If I get to the background, it's going to be like something something I would do with my cactus drawings, simply because I don't have a lot of time to kind of work on this. So we're just going to go ahead and now we're going to do, let's see. Okay, there we go. So now we're just going to work on this. We're just going to fiddle around with it and start by adding, you know, details. Maybe even go a little bit larger like this. And we're just going to fiddle around with it and probably kind of tweak it as we go. And who knows what's going to happen? I'm not an expert at this, so it's going to take me a little while to kind of really dial it in, and it's going to be very rough. What I probably need to do is I need to tone down the orange. The orange is a little rich. You know, it's a little rich. So we're going to harden up these edges again. You know, we're going to harden them up, and we're just going to keep playing around with it until I get it to a position that I enjoy or I think is decent. And we're just going to keep playing around with it until I'm done with it. You know, just kind of keep playing around and fiddling around with the tones. And so forth. Yeah. And it's gonna be a process. I don't really have anything to say other than I'm just gonna manipulate it for the next 30 minutes or so and then just keep tweaking it for hours on hours. And if I hopefully I can get it done by Saturday. I might need to find a time. I might need to do an extra long session one of these days. It's just one of these. I might actually have to work on it outside of my live stream. You know, maybe a little bit here and there. It's just my schedule has been so. I hate using that phrase. It's just been so. It's just been bad. Like I haven't been able to really deal, and I just haven't been able to work around my schedule. It's been rough. Maybe I need to draw from afar. I really don't know how to color well on Photoshop, or at least I say that, and then I can do a decent job after a little bit of working around and playing around, but it takes me a while to kind of figure out the visual, like the drawing voice, you know. And I still after all these days, I still haven't really cracked. I really don't understand it well, and I've been researching and doing my best, but it's still like a predicament because just the brushes are weird to me. They've always been weird, you know, and it's always been kind of like a they've always been kind of like a conundrum to me. And so I've always struggled with them to some degree or not, like to some degree, like to one degree or not another, you know. So I'm basically kind of destroying what I just did, spend all that time working on, because I want to kind of destroy, build back up, destroy, build back up, destroy, build back up. You know, some of these highlights are too powerful. They're simply there to kind of see the dark tones and so forth. And then we're going to destroy and we're going to build it back up. So that's what I typically do when I'm doing these type of things. And here, let's see. I had this idea for like a what if it's kind of like a something like that. There you go, something like that. Again, we're just kind of working with the frame and just playing around. Just just keep working around it, working with your image here, and manipulating it so that it looks slowly better and better each time. And you get to a point where you yeah. Yeah, so now we're having a little bit of a breakthrough. We're having a little bit of a breakthrough. And what I mean by that is you start fiddling around with it, and then eventually it's kind of some my drawings are kind of like clay, where I have to kind of fiddle with it and keep working with it almost to a fault, and just keep fiddling around with it, and then just keep working on it until something kind of cracks. I start seeing what I want with the image. I'm not one of those like gifted artists where I know exactly. A lot of these artists are like, you should know, you should know exactly what you're doing, or like have an idea. Like I have an idea, but it's kind of like when you see something in the corner of your eye, but you can't see it. Like you notice just a small little thing in the corner of your eye, but then you turn to look at it and it's blurry, or yeah, it's kind of like that. So like the thing that I'm looking at or doing, it's really blurry. I can't. It's very blurry. It's very unrecognizable as a form. You know, it's very unrecognizable, and I just struggle with it constantly. And it's always been like that. And like when I have ample amount of time, I actually can do some pretty decent work when I need to. So I wouldn't be. I'm not a great illustrator in the sense that I can just crank out stuff uh, all day long because I haven't had that experience. Now I probably would be on that level if I spent 8 hours a day or more cranking out stuff. But like as you can see, I'm only literally when you see me do a live stream, this is my drawing set. This is my drawing practice time. This is when I have my practice time. I do about 30 minutes of sketchpad work, sketchbook work, but it's very nonchalant, very kind of like low volume, very it's not very hard and challenging. Like I do it to kind of get those reps in and to kind of get a little bit better, but I think it helps more on the long end of the drawing, like drawing and improving, but it doesn't really help in the acute. It's kind of like a really slow process. So what you see here is this me. this is my drawing. This is my day that I do my drawing, and this is where I am kind of learning. So whenever you see me do these live streams, it's like, why this guy's messing up all the time, because really what you see is me trying to actually improve. You're seeing me trying to get better at these genres and just get better in general. And so this is challenging for me because I don't do this stuff. I haven't done this is like my first art challenge, and I'm just trying to do it to see where it's going to take me. And I think it's going to take me somewhere. And I'm going to start doing one challenge a month. There's this group that I'm kind of sort of in, and I want to start doing them. And maybe in the future, what I would like to do is I would like to do live streams where I do art requests, not live. I'll take them prior, and then I'll do a little bit of research, do some sketching, and do some practice in my sketchbook before I just jump into it, because I tried doing it once, didn't work out too well, and so I'm going to try to be a little bit more conscientious of it later on. So, that's this is me kind of exploring and playing around with the medium and so forth. Of course, when you see me do this, you're like, why does it look like this? There you go. It's starting to get something. It's starting to get creepy. And that's what I want. I want to get a little bit edgier, creepier, which probably means you're going to see my marks get more angular like this, darker and so forth as I progress through the image. I want to have, you know, and yeah, it's going to take a while. Like, it takes me a while. Really, it does. I can't stress that enough. I can't do long format live streams. I have 30 minutes at most, because I spend a good 15, 20 minutes setting up the live stream. I got to do what is it? The I got to do the it's I got to do like the what is it called when you I got to do a thumbnail, I got to put the text in there and so forth. So I got to do a bunch of like stuff prior to this before I even attempt at doing the live stream. You know, I actually had to update Photoshop because it was they had a new update, and I was wondering if that was the reason why there was all these glitches. I think like it feels like they just started like adding all these glitches or prior to the update to force you to update, you know. At least that's what I feel like. I don't know if that's the case. And I'm going to be playing around with some brushes that I don't normally play around with. So we're going to do something like this. I want the stem to kind of be this angular thing, you know? So we're going to kind of do that, and maybe at the end it kind of does something like this, kind of does a little like an evil, like, something like that. Maybe have some sprigs like that. And okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just add this tone here. First pressed, and we're going to. What's a good Halloween color? Maybe that. Maybe that. We'll do it like that for now. And kind of do something like this. And then let's make the tone a little bit darker. So I really don't know how to digitally paint well. I don't know how to blend this type of brush in, but I'm getting my practice in. Kind of do like this like viney looking thing here. And I want everyone to know that anyone that's watching this is out of my element. I haven't done imaginative work in forever. Like I've been kind of relegated to doing one thing or doing still lifes over and over again, et cetera, et cetera. So what you're seeing is kind of like a new, it's a big deal for me. Um, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if I'm able to kind of really get this working, you know? I always felt that like this type of brushstroke was really weird to me. I can never really seem to understand it well, while other people just really got it. Like it always felt weird and foreign to me to kind of do this type of brushstroke. Um, like it really did feel weird to kind of do a brushstroke like this. We'll see what happens. This session has been pretty productive, as far as like modeling and sculpting, and we'll see. As I said, I probably will have to spend some time actually what would it be like actually working on this outside of my live stream, and that's probably going to occur. I don't know when, you know, but we'll see what happens. I don't really. I still, no matter how hard, how many hours I've done played with Photoshop, I just don't get it. Still, I don't get it. It's the the software's adapting faster than I can learn it, you know, and new tricks and skills are like things are going are happening way quicker than I'm able to learn them. The reason why is because I'm only able to spend 30 minutes a day on it. I need to spend like in order to catch up, I'd have to spend 3 hours or more, stuff like that. I just need to catch up really to the program, and so that's what I'm trying to do with these live streams, try to do outside of these live streams, and so forth. Because I'd like to think that I'm a pretty decent artist. I'm pretty good at drawing and stuff, but sometimes it feels when you're doing stuff like this and you don't know the medium, um, it's just it like you're not able to do it. And then I see people that like are really good at drawing on paper, but then they try and they draw and they're able when they start pick up the Photoshop, they're able to like they just know what to do. I'm like, how do you know? Like it just makes sense. Because to me, I view Photoshop and I view drawing a different style, a different medium. Like they in my to me feel like completely different ways of going about drawing. You know, you have to think about them differently. That's just my opinion. That's not inherently that's not all true, but to me it feels like that's what um yeah, this feels different. So I'm trying to make these like little warp things here, and I'm going to see how I'm going to render them. So for 5 minutes, not too bad. Or 20 minutes or 25 minutes, not too bad for a start. As I said, had to do a few things, and we're just going to keep on chugging and see what happens. Um, who knows? Who knows? Maybe do something like that. Kind of. Again, it's going to take me a little bit. It's going to take some time to kind of really get acclimated to this, and eventually something might happen. I don't know. We'll see. I might not be able to. I might not be able to crack the code for this one. Um, I don't know. Yeah, so we'll see. So now that I got a little bit of progress, and I've gotten a little bit farther to where where I should have been like a day and a half ago. Like this is probably where I would have been a couple days ago if I hadn't had all these issues. I had numerous issues yesterday. The other day I had even just as many issues. Um, yeah, I had a lot of little bitty like micro things that at like face value don't add up, but like when you have to stop drawing and restart, it's going to affect the time. It's going to slow you down, no matter how good of an artist you are. It's kind of like when you're sprinting. If you're a fast sprinter, you have to, there's a moment where you're not running at your full speed. But if like, it's like if someone had to tell, if you were doing a sprint and you had to stop every 10 meters, you know, and then restart. If you had to do that, you would lose your maximum speed. You wouldn't get back up to speed until like later. And so that's what I am experiencing or have been experiencing these past few days with the with this drawing has been like just these little small setbacks that at like at the beginning they're not really a it's not like it's yeah, that's not that good. I think I'm going to do this next time. I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to play around with it a little bit more with this, and then I'm going to play around some texture brushes and see what happens. I might even use like a really dark mark using like the I don't know. That's kind of nice to do it's kind of do like a yeah. Anyways, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll see. All right, so that is it for the day. That's my pumpkin progress, and we're going to hit the save button. So again, as you can see, things are starting to shape up. It took me a while. This This has been a very humbling experience. I'm not the greatest at doing imaginative work. I haven't done it for so long. I haven't done it since I was like a little kid, where like I was just like, that's all I did. Like, I want to draw comic characters. Like, and then all of a sudden, like, you don't need to draw comic characters, draw still lifes. Like, okay, and I start drawing still lifes, and they're like, and they become okay at that. And then all of a sudden, like, well, you don't want to draw still lifes. You want to do weird conceptual work. I'm like, okay, and like, I'm basically doing a joke on a parody on art school, like how art school was telling me to do all these different things. Like I learned a lot from it. I learned how like to make up, to do conceptual work. I learned how to do like these like weird experimental work. I learned a little bit of each, but it really never made me like an expert at it, you know. So I'm not an expert at all these fields. I'm like an amateur or an average person at all these fields, which is not really good, I guess. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's live art stream. As you can see, it's progressed quite a bit. I'm a little concerned about how I will be able to kind of fix some of this, but I will keep chugging along, and we'll see what happens. And I hope you have a wonderful day. This is Pierson. I am the number one live art streamer. If you haven't already, don't forget to check out my Discord channel at Matt Pierson Art, and also you can find my first NFT on Rareable at Matt Pierson Art. It's the only one with cactuses. So there's probably some other ones with cactuses, but it's the only one that does original cactuses, and that is non-AI created or generated cactuses. So, and there's only one of them. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed today's live art stream. This is Pierson. I got to get going. Cheers.